Welcome in to the Scramble Drill Podcast. Ben, Landon, and, the shocking thing was not the Seahawks winning the Super Bowl, not, the 14 pressures that Will Campbell gave up. The shocking thing is Josh is here. Can you believe
Josh
this?
Johnson on the podcast with us tonight. And Ben, I just want to lay the groundwork for what has happened. Josh Johnson, less than a year ago, on this podcast, I believe, when he was still on this regularly, you remember what he did?
Oh,
Josh's favorite team was the Seattle Seahawks. And what did he decide to do, Ben?
So, I believe it was the same episode that I sort of disavowed the Falcons. Now,
Yes.
I'm a little bit of a weenie. I didn't fully do it. It was more of an emotional response. I'm still a Falcons fan and glad I stayed because now things are kind of looking up. But Josh didn't. Josh changed everything. Josh went to the LA Chargers, I believe, is who he pulls for now. And you know what? Justin Herbert's my boy. You know I like him. But Josh, welcome back. And how are you feeling about this decision making?
It's like the guy that bought crypto like a week ago.
Whew.
Well, here's the thing. I feel like I'm coming to like a crossroads in my NFL fandom because I wasn't like a major, like I've been a college fan really my entire life. And I was a Seahawks fan from like 2011 until about
8 months ago. Yeah.
And it really came. I remember I told you all this. I can't remember if I said it on a podcast episode or in the group chat or whatever it was, but it was looking at this roster at the beginning of the year. I was like, "There's just
it was on a podcast. There's
beautiful.
There's
evidence.
recording of this.
Great.
Yes,
There's evidence.
That's even better. You can go back. What I said was, there's no players on this Seahawks team that I care about. Like, there's nobody left from those teams that have carried over. They haven't drafted anybody that I especially care about. I have no attachment to this team anymore. And then, of course, that means that they go and win the Super Bowl. That's just how this goes.
The whole thing.
In dominating
And
fashion.
the real bum part of it is I just like picked the Chargers. I'm not especially attached to the Chargers. I just like Justin Herbert. And here we are.
You know what's going to happen. Josh is going to pick a different team next year, and the Chargers are winning the Super Bowl. So
That's
I'm
how
cool
this
with
goes.
it. I'm a Herbert fan.
yeah, you like it. You like
I'm
it.
going to come over and be a Falcons fan.
Don't do it, dude.
Oh,
It sucks.
no. It sucks. Oh no, we don't need to talk about the Falcons right now. That's a mess.
No, trust me, we're gonna have this
Yikes.
conversation in the near future. But I'm still pretty mad about it. So if you follow sports, you know what I'm talking about. But we're here to talk about the Super Bowl, boys. And
There was a game.
what a time
this
to have all three of us on the podcast because
week.
wow, we've got a lot to talk about. Let's just not wait anymore. Let's just go straight into it. The Seahawks. I mean, let's be honest. They smoked the Patriots. There was only one good team on the field last night, and it was the team from Seattle. I'm really not even sure where we want to start. Landon, I'll kick it to you first. Let's go, dude.
Yeah.
What we got?
So I think the general consensus I've gathered today is this was a pretty boring Super Bowl. People were not enthused about it, right? About how, like, we didn't have the big names that we've had in a few years past, and then how the game played out. People were not thrilled with it. Here's what I love about this game. I love when games are decided by the best units on the teams. And I love when you lose a game. I love when you lose a game because your weakness shows itself. And that's exactly what happened in this game. The big threat of this game for the Patriots was your receivers can't get open in the time given by this defensive line. That was the whole thing. That's what we said last week. That was the whole game. Can your line hold up long enough for these receivers to get open, and that none of that went the Patriots' way. I mean, they were blanketed all game. I'm seeing a few things like there were some guys open that Drake May missed, but basically they were blanketed all game. These linebackers, these DBs, they're so fast. And then you look at the performance the Patriots offensive line had.
We did nail all of this in our preview episode.
We nailed it. Yeah, we nailed it. We had it exactly right. But you look at this, the performance this Patriots offensive line had, which was their biggest question mark coming into the game, reared its ugly head, and Seattle's strengths, its defensive line and DBs, and they won the game. This was it. And then Darnold played clean enough to just let those groups win the game and him not lose it, and you're raising a trophy at the end of the year.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, we sort of touched on it too. Is Sam Darnold going into this game? You knew he wasn't going to have to be Superman. It was very, very obvious. I mean, when you have one team who's just clearly better than the other one, don't make a mistake. That's literally all Sam Darnold had to do was don't make a mistake. And I don't think, because I've seen some people already trying to hold this semi against him in the media, I guess, out there. Is like, well, Sam Darnold didn't have a great game either. He was Superman last week against the Rams, dude. Like, he showed me he can do it. That all he had to do was play a clean game. All he had to do was play a clean game, and he did.
Yeah.
To be fair, he was terrible, but like he did not need to be good. That was not the game plan.
Just don't turn it over. That's all he had to do.
And I think too the thing, like, I sent this in the group chat while this game was going on. Like, I thought the narrative coming out of the game was going to be that the Patriots were frauds, that they played the weakest schedule ever and they were exposed. And watching the game, it was not like you cannot have a team be as efficient and explosive as they were in the regular season in the NFL. The NFL is not a league where, it's 1 week you're playing Norfolk State and then the next week you're playing Alabama. There is not that variance in competition. You're playing good teams every week. You're playing good football every week. You can't have a team that good and efficient on offense in the regular season and then them look as bad as they looked in the Super Bowl. Those two things can't coexist. That doesn't happen because you're a fraud. That happens because the team you're playing nailed the game plan, knew exactly what they had to do and exploited matchups and just exposed all of your weaknesses as an offense. So the result, you look at it, is Drake May's final numbers don't look horrific, but he played the worst game of his life.
I mean, he threw
and it wasn't
40 in the fourth quarter in garbage time.
He did. I've already seen the tweets, like historic fourth quarters. Like, guys,
the all-time record, record. Which, if you do a little quick math, 235 in the fourth, he finished with 295. Do a little quick math. He had 60 going into the fourth. 60. Hey, but
he had 9 yards passing in the first half. I saw that thing pop up on the little graphic, and I was like, "Oh, there's no way."
But my guy, you got to pad those stats at the end. You got to make it look stomachable at the end, baby. You have to. Mahomes did it last year.
I've already seen.
If you look at Mahomes' stats last year,
the tweet.
It was pretty good. Like, oh, Mahomes threw like 350 and 3 touchdowns. What?
I've already seen the tweet comparing Drake May's performance to Mahomes in the Tampa Bay Super Bowl.
No, I think that's fair.
Oh, the Tampa Bay
I really
Super
think that's
Bowl.
fair.
Now, the Tampa Super Bowl, Mahomes outplayed him.
Yeah.
The Eagles Super Bowl, Mahomes was actually worse than he was against Tampa, but his numbers looks way better. So that, yeah.
No, anyways, I feel like last year's Super Bowl was a really good comparison between them because, I'm not going to sit here and say, I can't lay this all at the feet of Drake May. There's no way you can do that. If you watch the game, it's not all Drake May's fault. And the same thing could be said for Patrick Mahomes last year. Now, at the same time, Drake May did not play well last night at all.
Oh,
Patrick Mahomes did not play well in the Super Bowl against the Eagles at all. You can't argue that. At the same time, dude, there was such a small window for him to be able to win this game. Like, he would have had to thread an impossible needle. And I like, Josh, that you mentioned it last night and you mentioned it here. Now, I will say, and we can have this conversation later in the episode or later down the line, the schedule and things like that need to be mentioned because, somebody's going to play the weakest schedule in the NFL. It just happens every year. There is something to be said for playing the weakest schedule in the last 25 years. I mean, because that is a real statistic that's out there. But I like that you say that that's not – the Seahawks are the reason this game was like this. I mean, they came out and did literally everything right. I mean, you can point to maybe one or two mistakes like Sam Darnold missing JSN on a 90-yard touchdown or something like that. But other than that, they did everything they needed to do.
I mean, props to them. And I texted during the game. I was like, this is the best coaching performance I've seen in a Super Bowl since Belichick. The last Super Bowl he won with Brady against the Rams when they won, I think it was 13-3, and he just made Sean McVay look like his little brother, right? But let me read.
But that ain't Sean McVay out there.
The drives.
Yeah.
Let me read the drives. The Patriots drives. I don't even know how many this is, but this is how they started the game all the way into the fourth quarter, I think. No, into the third quarter. Punt, 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 punt. Kneel down end of half. Punt, 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 fumble. That's the drives. I mean
the entire first half they pummeled. Punted. The entire first half.
Yeah, no, that's the first three quarters. And then in the fourth quarter they get the two touchdowns, the big plays, but it seemed to me like both teams came out with the same game plan. Both teams came out offensively and said, we don't need to score 30. Let's just make the other team make mistakes. And they came out super conservative. Seattle, just being a little better, offensive line playing that much better, turned their conservativeness into 4 field goals. New England turned it into nothing. They were conservative. They were like, all right, we're going to see if they'll make the mistake. They never made the mistake. They got field goals. And all of a sudden you're down 12-0. Seattle scores a touchdown. I mean, it's 19-0, and now we've got to start chunking it deep. And they hit a few big plays, hit a few turnovers, but and then obviously the fumble 6 ended the game. But this was not the best moment for my guy Drake Maye.
I want to throw some props to Vrabel and the defensive coaches, right? Because last year's Super Bowl, just because they're so easy to compare because one team was outmatched by the other. The Seahawks defense also got shredded, right? Or not the Seahawks, I'm sorry. The Chiefs defense got shredded by the Eagles. Like they had no chance in this one. The Patriots defense, there was a point in the fourth quarter after the Drake Maye touchdown to Mac Hollins. I'm like, dude, I don't think they can claw back into this one, but they are still in it game. Because and it was an absolutely masterful defensive performance by Vrabel and the Patriots defense. So it wasn't a complete drubbing all around, if that makes sense. Because obviously Seattle dominated the entire game, but dude, their defense was legit. I think they proved that. We can talk about the schedule, all that kind of stuff, but this is one of the most legit defenses in the league that the Patriots have, for sure.
Yeah. Go ahead, Josh.
No, Seattle's defense was. I think Kyle Shanahan said this in the lead up to the game that he thought there were 2 Super Bowl defenses, and he clarified what that meant by saying that there were 2 defenses in the league this year that if the other unit, if the offense and special teams just didn't F around and mess things up, that defense would win you a game. It was Seattle was one of them and Houston was the other one. And that's basic. He was exactly right. Seattle's defense played well enough. I don't know that there were many teams that honestly, maybe the Rams are the only one, and we've seen that now a couple times this year. Maybe the Rams are the only offense that could just hold their own and be okay because they have stars everywhere. But outside of them,
props to the Rams.
Tampa
offense
got them
because
too.
they were the only one that cracked this.
Yeah.
And 44-year-old
Phillip Rivers,
by the way.
Phillip Rivers brought him to the wire, and I think that was just because Sam Darnold and the offense just didn't get off the bus that day. What was it, 18-13 or something?
Yeah,
it was
18
to 15. I know Phillip Rivers
it was a
took
field
the
goal
lead with
fest.
40 seconds to go.
Yeah. Anyways, the defense was excellent.
If the defense would have never, once they got to the fourth quarter, they're up 19-0. At that point, it's a 3-score game. There was no chance the Patriots were scoring 3 times after what you had seen. And I know they get the quick touchdown, but if the Seahawks defense never would have let up, not let up, but went into the prevent, nothing over our heads, even though they did get beat over their heads. If they would have never done that, this could have been the first shutout. Has there ever been a shutout in the Super Bowl?
No,
has it happened? How long ago was it?
Happened.
I don't even know. Never happened.
I only know this because I was looking it up last night. I'm like, dude, are they going to actually do it? There has never been a shutout in Super Bowl history.
And it looked like once Drake fumbled, he fumbled there at the end of the third quarter.
Or I guess it was only one, but
the fumble, the one that wasn't returned for a touchdown, right?
Okay.
When they had punted every drive of the game, 10 straight drives or something. Seattle goes 3 and out. Patriots get it back and fumble. It looked like their defense kind of let go of the rope, for lack of a better term. That's when Seattle goes down and gets the touchdown, goes up 19-0, and it just looked like they got a little bit of juice when the Patriots hit the touchdown to the Tar Heel touchdown. Drake made to Mac Hollins, and then after that, it was, it looked like their defense let go of the rope and just said, that's when, Walker leaned on him. He breaks off the 40-yard touchdown that got called back or whatever. It's just, they knew at that point they couldn't win. They knew their offense wasn't scoring 3 times, and props to Seattle, man. This team was really good. This is, as far as rosters go, we talk about the Eagles roster last year a lot, and rightly so, as one of the best rosters of our lifetime. And this Seattle, while I would have that Eagles roster ahead of it, dude, this is a top 12, top 10, top 12 roster of our lifetime. This team's good, man. This team's
you made a point in the preview.
Defense in particular needs to be talked about as one of the best defenses of all time. This is up there with, Legion
really
of
good.
Boom, the 85 Bears. That's this level of defense they got.
You made a point in the preview, Landon, about how you're seeing, I don't know if you can call this a trend, but I think we all do know, quarterbacks and coaches are the way you compete year over year. But we're seeing this now a couple times, and you could probably also throw in the 49ers in there as well, of
making
teams
it
that have
every year. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the 49ers are probably your best example of a team that's built the way Seattle was this year, the way the Eagles were last year, making it year over year over year. And maybe you now start seeing a trend of maybe the Eagles are back in it next year, and we go, okay, here we go. But you're starting to see a trend of you've got a quarterback that's not maybe one of these elite guys, but he's good enough. He's a top 15 quarterback, and he's affordable-ish, and he's built around a roster of studs, and it's primarily studs on defense, and then you have offensive weapons, elite guys here and there, but it's not like they drafted 37 stars. They have Jackson Smith-Njigba. You got Cooper Kupp, who's, they're paying him a good amount of money, but he's later on in his career. He's still a solid player, but and you got Kenneth Walker, and you got a good offensive line. It's the roster construction. Maybe it's signaling a change. I don't know. You're always going to have your Mahomes, your Allens, your Lamars. They're always going to be in the conversation, Joe Burrow. But it does seem to me that
3 of the 4 guys you just mentioned have never won a Super Bowl.
Right. And we come into the year at the beginning of every year and we go, who are we going to bet on to win the Super Bowl? And it's probably one of those 3 to 4 guys.
Yeah.
And they're not doing it. So maybe this is a sign that the league is.
You kind of mentioned that too. Look at the Russell Wilson trade. That really they
Charles
had
Cross
the superstar they had the superstar quarterback though in house. Russ, at the time he was moved, did not look like he was slowing down. He was still at the top of his game. And you look at what they got in return, and that is what built the roster that we see right now.
Yeah, John Schneider. My gosh. Ever since that moment, honestly, ever since the moment he decided to trade Russell Wilson,
he hasn't missed.
He's barely missed. He's barely missed. And he's turned this thing around. He gets off on gets out on Pete Carroll at the right time, gets out on Geno at the right time. He says, "Look, man, I know what happened at the end with Sam Darnold. The guy won 14 games. He did this, he did that, and I don't think it was just Kevin O'Connell. I think he could do it here." Brings him in, and they're Super Bowl champs, man. And
it's not just that. It's a series of moves. I mean, there's the Russ move that's the headliner, but you've got Nick Ebenwari's a second-round pick. Yep. You've got they've got a starting linebacker.
Absolute
yeah,
stud.
You got a starting linebacker, Drake Thomas, NC State boy. He was an undrafted free agent they picked up off of waivers. He had like 7 tackles in the Super Bowl. They traded for DeMarcus Lawrence when he's old. He's like 31. They trade for him, stud. Leonard Williams is like 35, stud. Ernest Jones they got for nothing. I mean, it's a series of moves, and they're all competing players for the Super Bowl team.
Remember, they took JSN when they had DK and Tyler Lockett, and people were like, "What are you doing taking another receiver? That's the only thing you have." They're like, "We're taking this guy. He's the best player on the board." And you see what he did this year. I mean, you can't say enough good things. Yeah, you can't say
Charles
enough good things.
Cross, Gray Zabel on the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
They have not missed on these first and second round picks in what feels like 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah, also they had Devin Witherspoon. They took him 5th overall, and they had Geno, and it was like, they got to draft a quarterback. They got to draft a quarterback. They got to draft a quarterback. And he said, "No, I like this guy. This is the guy we want." And he's obviously a stud, and those defensive backs are monsters. I mean, props to him. This roster was great. This run was great for them. Props to Sam Darnold, because you're right. I think Vrabel thought we can force Darnold into a mistake. We'll do it. And he just didn't make it. Now, the first pass of the game was almost a pick six. And after that,
he had
the
game,
underthrow to JSN.
Darnold actually had a couple that I was like, man, he's playing with fire. That was really close.
Well, he had the underthrow to JSN, which should have been a touchdown. He threw it behind him, and Gonzalez broke it up at the goal line. He had that one too. But after that, it was like I think he realized they can't move the ball. Like if we punt and kick field goals, we're going to win. And he did it, man. Good for him.
It was sort of like
we'll talk
Patriots
more about
Broncos game
him later, but
last week or a couple weeks ago, we're like, dude, Drake Maye, that game where like Drake Maye didn't have great stats. He knew he didn't. Like once the snow hit, like they knew the Broncos weren't going to move the ball. So that's kind of the same thing that happened here.
Yep. So,
where do we want to end here? I mean, there's a few more things you could mention in this game. Props to Christian Gonzalez, by the way. He was the best player on the field for either team last night.
Best player either game.
He was unbelievable.
Absolutely.
He was unbelievable. If the Patriots had won, he absolutely would have been MVP. Kenneth Walker gets the MVP. I don't think either of y'all are big fans of that.
Well, I mean, I get why he got it. I do. Really, I feel like he was like the 6th or 7th most valuable player for the Seahawks in this game. But the other 5 or 6 were all the other 5 or 6 were all on the defense and the punter, and Kenneth Walker was the only guy on the offense who was really good. So they were like, it makes kind of sense to give it to him. But I mean, the defense, and honestly, I thought the punter. Honestly, there was a time I thought the punter might be the MVP because
he pinned
Seattle.
Him back in
that's
the
one
five,
thing
like
that
3 times.
Seattle dominated field possession on this game. Field position, excuse me, dominated field position, and a lot of it had to do with him. I mean, I doubt there's ever been a punter have 3 pins inside the 10 in one Super Bowl. Maybe there has, but I mean that was incredible. But I don't really have a problem with Walker getting it, even though I don't think he was the most valuable player in the game, but I think his case was the easiest to make, I guess.
Well, I mean, I think many players had good games in this. It was such a. If there's ever a case for a team win, like this was it. Like everyone did their job, everybody played well. So it was so hard to differentiate. Like this was such a clear standout that like we'll give it to the running back who had almost 200 yards.
Yeah, Mike Macdonald was the MVP of this game.
And by the way, I do want to say too, if you watch the game, I mean, Kenneth was sitting people down. Like he was running like I've never seen him run.
He
before.
was really good.
He was playing the best game of his life.
Yeah, and he had a 40-yard touchdown called back against a holding call that was probably a holding call, but I don't think it affects the play. Like
it was.
I think he scores a
touchdown.
touchdown.
Kenneth was already by the guys at that point,
Yeah.
so I mean, like it wouldn't have changed it.
Yeah, I think he still scores. So he had a great game. But man, I was pulling for the Patriots because of Drake Maye, but I got to be honest, I'm really happy for Seattle, and I'm so happy Josh dropped them 10 months ago and went with the Chargers. That makes this so much better. So much better.
They were so frustrating
I mean, if you talk
to watch
about
for
Seattle's
so long.
GM timing everything up perfectly, Josh did the opposite.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah. The exact opposite. And
I
love it.
How
And
much
always
money
have
did you
been,
put in the housing
unashamedly.
market on September 10th of 2001?
Yeah.
I bought a house September 10th, 2001.
But yeah.
What? Did you say my name? I thought you said my name. Anyway, there's 2 coaches and 2 quarterbacks to talk about here. Let's go with the Patriots first. What are we looking at and how this means for Drake Maye's legacy, for Mike Vrabel's legacy? Yeah, let's just dive into it. Josh, we'll kick it to you first this time.
I don't know what – I have not tuned into the consensus, so I have no idea how people are speaking about Drake Maye right now, but I don't think that his – I only would look at this playoff run as a boost, and I don't really see how making the Super Bowl in year 2, even though, if we're being honest, you don't play well, I don't see how that can be a negative. Because expectations coming into the season were, just show some promise. Like, if the Carolina Panthers were to make the Super Bowl this year and Bryce Young wasn't amazing, but the team was good and they made it to the Super Bowl and they got smacked in the Super Bowl, in Carolina, they would be falling over themselves. Just being like, okay, we got our guy. And now we build around him for the future. And I think if you're New England, I know this is not the reaction right now, but the reaction has to be, and the only correct action can be, you falling over yourselves because you've got your guy and now you're just building the core for the future. So I don't know if anybody's knocking him for how he played. It wasn't really his fault. He didn't play well, but let's really be honest about this. This is a second-year player who you could tell he's still so raw. There's a lot of development that needs to happen for him to be, considered one of the elite quarterbacks. He's an elite talent, but in order to be considered among the greatest quarterbacks in the game, he's got to develop more. They need to fill some pieces on the roster. They're just not quite there yet, and they are ahead of schedule. So I think for his legacy, now you're having a conversation about, we've seen the talent because he had a MVP caliber regular season, and then they go on a playoff run in the AFC. You're probably having a conversation of, he's probably just outside those top 5 quarterbacks in the league, but I think the conversation is just, where do you slot him in amongst the quarterbacks that are really, really good and are franchise guys? And then, the rest of it just sort of falls into place.
So it should be said, I said this with Mahomes last year. I will say it for Drake this year. Neither one played good, right? Drake did not play well yesterday. There are 32 teams in the NFL, meaning there are 32 starting quarterbacks. Now, not everybody has a starting quarterback, but for numbers purposes, there's 32 starting quarterbacks in the NFL. Drake outplayed 30 of them yesterday. He just did, because he made it there. I will say, with the exception of maybe Matthew Stafford. I think
he gets an honorary.
Yeah, I think yesterday was a good day for the MVP vote. I think we saw that the right guy won the MVP yesterday with how Stafford performed against this team twice and how Drake did.
I was going to mention, if Drake had won the MVP and then played like this after what Stafford did against him, that would have felt real shallow.
Yeah, I think it was a good day for the MVP vote, but Drake, just because I'm not going to count it against you a crazy amount when you play bad in the Super Bowl, unless you are Brady, Mahomes, one of these guys who gets there every year, so it's not that impressive to get there. When it's your first time, I mean, year 2, making a Super Bowl is just unbelievable. And like I said last week, like if he would have won this game, he would have had to claim he was the best player in the world. I wouldn't have believed it, but he could have made the argument. The year as a whole, obviously, is a 12 out of 10 success for the Patriots and for Drake Maye from where they thought they were going to be. This great season. The only knock you can give Drake Maye is he will have to prove next year, if they make the playoffs, that he's not a shrink to the moment guy. Any way you slice it, he's played 4 playoff games. He played 4 bad ones. I mean, I guess Houston, he was okay-ish. He threw 3 touchdowns, but he was not good in that game either. Like, he's not played a good playoff game yet. Yeah. I mean, he had like 5 fumbles or something. Recovered 2 of them, but I mean, so he has not played a really good playoff game yet. So it's not like a foregone conclusion. Like, I'll use this example as a Washington fan. We had a terrible year this year. If we get back to the playoffs next year, I've got full confidence I'm going to get a great version of Jaden Daniels. Full confidence, because I've seen him play 3 playoff games. He played 3 good ones. Drake, next year, he has to prove he can be that. Now it's year 2, right? He's got a whole career to prove that he can be that. That's the only knock you can give him. And maybe it's just that he played really tough defenses. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it's that he shrunk to the moment. I don't know. It looked like yesterday, I mean, it's hard to tell whether yesterday, if the lights were too bright or if it was just the pass rush and the windows he had to throw into and what it was exactly. But that's the only knock you can give him. I mean, the guy finished second in the MVP, made the Super Bowl in year 2, and I have such a hard time knocking a guy. This is the LeBron thing, right, Josh? How people always knock LeBron because he lost 6 finals. He made 10. Like, we're not going to mention that he made 10, you know? And I feel the same way with this.
I mean,
like,
you're going to knock Brady for losing 3 Super Bowls?
Yeah, like I would rather, like I said, he outplayed every quarterback in the league yesterday except Sam Darnold and really Matthew Stafford. And so, good for Drake. It's just not a great Sunday night for him. But I mean, obviously, I think next year, like you gotta feel good, even though they didn't play well in these playoffs. You gotta feel good about the experience he got. Like, how many times is he gonna play a better defense in the future of his playoff career than Houston, Denver, Seattle? He played all 3 of them this year. I mean, how many times the rest of his career is he going to play defenses that good? I don't know, maybe 20% of the time, maybe 10. I mean, so you got to feel good about the experience he got.
He's not ever going to go 4 for 4 with a murder. Like, you could throw the Chargers defense in there too. I mean, that's the offenses might not have been great on those teams, but those defenses were so freaking good.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like, we look at Jaden. Jaden played great last year, but like the Bucks were like around 10th best defense in the league. The Lions were really beat up. Now, the last game they had played, they just made Sam Darnold turn back into a pumpkin. Let's not forget that. But they were still beat up, and he torched them. And then he played well against the Eagles, who were really good. So we say he played way better, but it may just been he played way easier defenses, you know. So it's hard to judge Drake on this playoff run. It was terrible. He did not play good in any of the games, but the defenses were it was stout, man. It was stout.
It does feel like a good time to remind everybody, just in case we've all forgotten. I know we say this a lot, and it's just sort of a known thing, but it does bear reminding. Like, Peyton Manning was horrific in the playoffs.
Always.
Forever. I don't remember a time he was ever good in the playoffs. Maybe the one Colts, and even then, the Colts run, he wasn't great.
The year that he got popped by the Seahawks in the Super Bowl, I think he was good that playoff leading up to the Super Bowl, and then until they got annihilated.
Hammered. Yeah.
I think I kind of agree that Drake, it's hard to hold it again. Like, I get it. The dude made a Super Bowl. And I will also give him props too for getting through a murderer's row of defenses. And look, there's no way to slice it. I mean, the Patriots are outmanned offensively against a team like that. They didn't have. I mean, I've been trying to make the defense for Josh Allen all year. That they didn't have the weapons. I mean, the Patriots really didn't have the weapons. I mean, they're probably a little bit better at receiver than the Bills are, but they have a much worse offensive line.
Way worse.
It is his second year. They still got through it, so I'll give him props there. I do agree. I don't think if he won the Super Bowl, we would be having him up there. I mean, it's going to be a conversation that people are going to want to put him over Josh Allen. I wouldn't, but people would want to. I think, given how the playoffs have looked, given how this game went, obviously you have to give him massive props, but I think he's just outside that top 5. He had a really great season. He's established himself as one of the premier up-and-comers. Yeah. I don't think I can put him in that top 5 after one good season of truly, and I don't know if y'all will like me even making the argument, but it does bear a little bit of they did have the easiest schedule in the past 25 years. That is a true stat. And he did not play, and he didn't play well in the playoffs. He didn't.
I looked it up. I did some diving into some stats, and his numbers against non-playoff teams versus playoff teams this year, it's pretty staggering. I mean, he had 28 touchdowns and 8 turnovers against non-playoff teams and against teams that made the playoffs, including the playoffs, obviously, because that's 4 of the teams. He had like 14 touchdowns, 11 turnovers. So, I mean, they're pretty staggering differences. He had like 70 less yards. And look, every quarterback in the history of the world has better numbers against non-playoff teams than playoff teams, right? That's just part of it. But his were pretty staggering, which is one of the reasons I thought Stafford should have won the MVP, and he did. And I don't like having this conversation, but I'm going to reiterate it because we'll tie Vrabel in a little bit to this too. I said this last year with Washington. I said it this year with Denver a few weeks ago, and I'll say it about the Patriots. It's possible the Patriots go on a run and they're competing every year, and this is just the new normal. What is also possible is this is the closest they ever get. Mm-hmm. That's it. It's how these things work. Not everybody's the Chiefs. Not everybody's the old Patriots. Not everybody. I mean, like
I would say not everybody's
Drake
the Bills
year.
Even. I mean, the Bills for the past 6 years have been this close. I mean, so close. It's hard to stay that close every year.
No, but Drake, the Patriots had a better chance to win the Super Bowl this year, 48 hours ago, than Josh has ever had, than Lamar has ever had. Right? Burrow was closer, but like great quarterbacks. Ask Dan Marino. He got to the Super Bowl year 2, never went back. Ask Aaron Rodgers. He got to and won a Super Bowl in year 2 or 3 as a starter.
It was
like year 5
interesting
for him.
stat that
but he never got back.
That right there. You say that right there, and I saw this as a stat, is no quarterback has ever gotten back to the Super Bowl after making it in year 2.
I think Dan Marino's the only other one that's made it in year 2, though.
Yeah.
No, there was a few others.
There's been a few who've made it.
Brock Purdy.
I mean a guy
Brady.
a guy who lost. A guy who lost.
Okay, yeah, Purdy.
Brady made
Purdy's
it. A
not
guy
been
who
back.
goes
Brady
in year 2
won.
and loses, doesn't go back.
And Russell Wilson won. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean a guy who goes and loses.
Yeah.
Was Brock Purdy in year 2?
Yeah.
It does.
He was.
Okay.
And again, maybe Drake May is just this guy and he's here every year. Maybe. And
But
maybe we're
at the
looking
same
up in 8
time-
years and being like, he's never been back. Maybe.
Yeah.
I think if you're going to
It's very
take
possible.
bets today, if you're taking bets on the Patriots making it back or not in the next 10 years, I would lay my money on them not making it back.
Yeah,
personally.
I mean, you're talking about unless you think Mahomes is done, Allen, Lamar, Burrow, Herbert,
Yeah, that's
Stroud,
right.
Lawrence, somebody's not making it. Bo
That's
Nix,
what I was
people
saying.
like
Is,
him,
is
somebody's not
you
making
keep
it.
mentioning all these other guys that have he had a better chance than all of them. and how we sort of made the argument with Seattle, the team and just finding a quarterback who's not going to screw up. These other quarterbacks aren't going away either. Lamar's going to be back next year.
No.
Allen's going to be back next year. Like all these guys, the AFC has so many great quarterbacks that it's not a knock on Drake May, but, I mean, man, it's going to be tough. You're not guaranteed a spot in this league.
It is to the point, though, where if you make the Super Bowl out of the AFC, it's almost a miracle. Just because
it is.
I mean, every year, we saw this with the Patriots this year. They had to go through a row of defenses, which is abnormal considering the reputation of the league is quarterback play.
Right.
But moving forward, you have to imagine it does. It looks like an NFC playoff run.
Defense. Yeah.
Right. And it's physical defenses that are just tough teams to beat. And they went through all those physical tough teams. Next year, you look up, it's very likely to get to the Super Bowl. You've got to go through you got to beat Joe Burrow in round 1. You got to beat Lamar Jackson in round 2. And then it's, okay, now we have Mahomes in the AFC Championship game for the chance to go to the Super Bowl. Yeah. So,
and unless you beat Allen throughout the regular season, all those games are on the road.
Exactly.
Oh gosh.
That's not fun.
No, it's not fun. It's not fun. So,
and then you have to get through all that, and then the way the NFC's been the past few years is whoever makes it out of the NFC for whatever reason is always stacked. I mean, the Rams when they played the Bengals,
that
stacked.
roster is
the
crazy.
Eagles stacked. The Seahawks stacked. I mean, the NFC
Niners
team
both times the Niners
stacked. The NFC team always has one team that is just unbeatable.
Tampa, the year they did it.
I mean, you look like the Lions could be back here next year if they load up on defense a little bit, and you're like, golly, dude. It's the same thing. The Rams, they're probably going to be back.
Yeah, I know Patriots fans aren't going to want to hear that. They think they're going every year. I'm just telling you, it's not easy to make the Super Bowl every year. It's not easy to make the divisional round every year. And so, again, I'm pulling for them. They're my second favorite team in the AFC now, but I don't know.
And I mean, props and Vrabel too. I mean, that again, they've got the coach quarterback combo. I mean, Vrabel. Yeah, firing him is going to be one of the biggest mistakes Tennessee ever made. But
what are the Titans doing? Like,
man,
seriously? And we don't need to hash this out, but who do the Titans think they are? That they can fire Mike Vrabel? Like, what? What are you doing? I mean, anyways. Who do you think you are that you can fire Mike Vrabel? They've won 6 games since then.
The audacity of you to do that.
They've won, like, literally, they've won. Have they won 6 since then? I think it was 4 and 2.
I don't know.
Is that right?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, was it 4 this year, 2 the year before?
It's crazy.
I remember that podcast afterward when we were sitting here. We were like, what are they doing?
Okay.
Who are you going to get? And they were like, oh, it's Brian Callahan, guys. He's better. Right. He now flips burgers at the McDonald's.
Gotcha.
Oh, my gosh.
Anyway, there was another coach-quarterback combination, except they actually won the Super Bowl, and that was my gosh, dude. I guess.
Okay, let's just get it out of the way. Do your quarterback rankings. Where does Sam Darnold slot in now that he's a Super Bowl champion?
I saw this, and it actually made me mad. And I know ESPN is absolute garbage, all right? Ryan Clark had 9 quarterbacks after the Super Bowl. He said from the NFC, 9 quarterbacks from the NFC. He said he'd rather have over Sam Darnold. That's a joke, man. That's laughable.
9 in the NFC.
In the NFC, not in total, just in the NFC.
I doubt I could get to 9. I doubt I could get to 9 right now.
I think the lowest. Go ahead, Glenn.
No, you go ahead.
I think in the NFC,
I don't want to do it all.
In the NFC, the lowest you can argue him right now is probably tied with Jalen Hurts.
Where does Jalen Hurts rank in the NFC?
Does
that mean Stafford? What is
Stafford
it? Stafford, Daniels?
I don't think there's a close second right now. Stafford is 1. Then I think you've got,
I would take Jaden.
I think Jaden's still got
a lot
an
of people
would.
Everybody would take Caleb. I would take Jaden.
I would absolutely take Jay. That's kind of the same argument I got with Drake May is each of them have had one great year, right? Like Drake obviously had an incredible year, but Jaden had an incredible year last year. Like one year I don't think is enough to like put you up there. So that's why I wouldn't have Drake quite in my top 5 either.
I think the conversation is, it's I'll just give a few guys. Purdy, Hurts, Jordan Love, Baker. Where does he rank there? I would take him over all of them.
I would.
Maybe not Hurts.
I really would.
Maybe not Hurts.
I think I would take him over Hurts, man. And my argument is, look, I know Hurts has been to 2, but Darnold literally has only had 2 years under actual good coaching. He's only had 2. He's been phenomenal in both. Yeah. I know he melted down at the end of last year, but Jalen Hurts melted down all of this year. All of it. The entire year, Jalen Hurts was a disaster. So, Sam's had 2 good years with actual good coaching, and he's been better recently. He's the one who just won a Super Bowl, not Jalen Hurts. And if people want to make the argument, though, the roster, it's not an argument. Hurts was carried by his roster. Then you can make the same argument that Sam Darnold was carried by his roster. Then you have to argue Hurts down. I think they're even right now.
The point is, I mean, this is what he's done to us. Like, going into this season, I would have said, where does he rank NFC quarterbacks? You're talking about 16 guys. I don't know, maybe 13th, maybe 12th. And now, he's in that top 5 discussion of NFC quarterbacks.
There's arguments that I don't even want to have, but probably okay, look over the AFC, him or Justin Herbert. I mean, my head says
that's the question.
Herbert. My head says Herbert, but I have nothing I can say that says I should put Justin Herbert over Sam Darnold other than my eye test. Justin Herbert has no playoff wins. Sam Darnold has a freaking Super Bowl.
That's the correct answer. The correct answer is I would say Herbert, and I can't prove it. That's right.
Exactly.
But that's the point, is Sam has done it. Sam's done it. Like, if he retired today, he did it. He won the Super Bowl. And I know he signed the 4-year deal with, fake years at the end. Do they tear that up? I don't know. Do they give him a new one? I don't know what they're going to do.
Sam Darnold has 30 wins over the past 2 years. He won 14 games in the regular season with Minnesota. He won 14 in the regular season with Seattle. So that puts you at 28, and then he won 3 playoff games. He has 31 wins the past 2 years.
31 wins.
No other quarterback has that the past 2 years. No other.
Good for him. And like we discussed it, we discussed it last week. I think that's a conversation that we can't come to a conclusion to, is the where does he rank conversation. The conversation we can come to a conclusion to is, man, a lot of times when quarterbacks don't work out, it's not them that's the problem. That's the conversation we can agree on. It's not them. It's the organization. It's OC, offensive line, weapons. It's owner down. I mean, you talk about the Jets. You're talking about owner down. You're talking about the Panthers, owner down. And I feel so good for Sam Darnold. I really do. I really do.
He's the only reason I was pulling for the Seahawks. And I have nothing against Drake May.
Yeah.
The only thing I have against Drake May is people want to put him over my boy Josh Allen. That's the only thing I've got against him. I actually like watching Drake May. But Sam Darnold's storyline was like, dude, I've never felt more like the feeling of relief for him was unbelievable. I mean, this is his 5th team.
Yeah.
His 5th team, dude. And all 4 of the teams he played for before that completely wrote him off. Minnesota said, you won 14, we don't need you. We don't need you.
Minnesota fired their GM because they let him walk.
Yeah.
You can argue a lot of things got Minnesota's GM fired. No, this is the reason he got fired. This is the one and only.
Yeah. Good for him.
I like that. I like that Sam has put us in this position, because that's going to be an argument that's going to carry through the entire offseason. And it's going to be fun to watch people
And
debate
I'll tell
about
you
it.
this.
It's going to be fun.
Sam Darnold has gotten a lot of quarterbacks a second opportunity. And quarterbacks they've gotten second opportunities in the past, but it's rarely worked out. And then you get this crop of Baker when it's worked out really well. You get Sam, which is, I mean, the ultimate workout story. And then even like a Daniel Jones who was playing well this year. Like, this is going to be a common theme now where
another guy
a real option for teams. Yeah. A real option for teams is a guy like this. Like, in the past, it's been like the teams that leave the offseason and all the chairs are taken in musical chairs and you don't have a quarterback left, and they're just like, all right, fine, we'll bring in Jacoby Brissett. Now, it's like when a guy gets cast off, oh, we're going to get him. And we're just going to see if we can make him work. We believe our scheme or whatever works with him. And so he's got a lot of people, I think 2-year, $57 million deals, which that's good for the league.
I think that's one of the points you probably made it better than I did last episode, but one of the points I was trying to make is it always feels like the guy like Sam Darnold, it's a complete cop-out like the organization does. It's like, well, we went and got a quarterback. We got this guy. It never feels like it works out. I'm like, okay, that's a 9-win team at best. Right. Now we're looking at an NFL to where, like, the Sam Darnold success story, to your point, like, and I'm not predicting this, so don't hear what I'm not saying, but what about a guy like Kyler, who has struggled in Arizona? The organization has been great. We're looking at a world to where if Kyler Murray goes to the right situation, like if say Atlanta figures their crap out and somehow Atlanta signed Kyler Murray, that's a Super Bowl contender, potentially, with kind of how Sam Darnold has rewritten the NFL.
I mean, you got to make it work. It's not just you sign someone who didn't
all
work.
Like, Sam Darnold, is the reason, but like you find that perfect situation and it can. Up until this point, it's always been it can't work.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the key, though. You have to go to a functional situation. That is the common denominator with Baker working out in Tampa and with Sam working out in Minnesota and then in Seattle. And even to a certain point with Daniel Jones being, pretty good for most of the year with the Colts. They were functional for the first half of the year, and then they just, fell apart.
But even the point is, even 5 years ago, when a team did this and took a guy who didn't work out and they're like, we're just going to plug him in, that was we're punting on this season. We're not competing. Now it's like you look at Baker, you look at Tampa was about to be drowning after Tom Brady. You look at what Baker did. Sam in Minnesota. Then Sam leaves, and you see what the first-round pick looks like. And it's like, oh, man, like maybe some of these guys, there's so many great offensive minds around the league now that they're like, those offensive coaches believe in themselves. They just believe in themselves. And so Steichen believes in himself. O'Connell believes in himself. Kubiak believed in himself, and he's like, I can do it. And, maybe this is what you get.
Yeah, and it's fascinating too. I lost what I was, but like even last year, Sam wasn't even supposed to start all year. He was supposed to be a bridge until like week 6 until we get JJ McCarthy ready. Obviously, he gets hurt, but
yeah, who knows? I mean, maybe McCarthy, maybe they would have just gone with McCarthy all year if he didn't get hurt, and Sam backs up all year, and we never see this. Mm-hmm. So it's crazy how stuff works out.
Yeah, and then on the Mike Macdonald side, dude, I mean, we mentioned this in the preview episode, but, man, there are very few coaches right now I would rather have than Mike Macdonald. I mean, I can count them on one hand. Maybe. I mean, Shanahan is the only one I can, for sure. I would rather have Shanahan, I think. I don't think I would prefer McVay. I don't think it's McVay. I hate to say it. He's one of the greatest of all time. I would rather have him than Randy Reed. I'd rather have him than
I think you could argue Macdonald over Andy Reid, considering where Andy Reid is in his career.
I would, and if you had to draft your coach for the foreseeable future, I would take Macdonald 2. I'd take Shanahan 1, Macdonald 2. Now, if you say next 3 years, I might still take Reed. But, like, you look at his age. I mean, this guy's what? He looks like he's 28 years
36.
old. I mean, I know he's like 40 or something. 36. But, like, what he did, man, and he's one of those guys, like, he's not like, he doesn't blow you away when he speaks, but whatever he speaks, they buy into, and
man is a wizard.
He knows what he's doing defensively.
He's a culture guy, and he is the McVay of defense. I mean, those two things are in reading stuff coming out of that building now, in the past 15 hours. What seems very obvious is that is one of the tightest knit buildings in the league, and it might not be close, like a distance between 1 and 2 in terms of cohesion in the building. And on top of that, I mean, he's had this same defensive scheme now for several years, and it's a very simple, you have a big dude in the middle, in this case it's Leonard Williams, and you set really hard edges, and it stops the run, and then you play this like hybrid zone coverage where you have like really fast, athletic defensive players that cover a ton of ground, so these hybrid safeties, corners, linebackers, and it's just a really tough like once you get your personnel in there, it's a really tough defense to deal with, and they've got the personnel, and he's got some of that magic pixie dust when he's calling the plays that he knows when to dial it up, he knows when to ease off of it. He just has that skill of play calling, and apparently also he's just an amazing, team chemistry, whatever that skill is. He's apparently amazing at that too. So it's like, I didn't know that was part of the deal. I knew when they hired him, you knew he was a great play caller. I didn't also realize he was amazing at the intangible stuff, the stuff that like only a handful of coaches are really good at. Your Shanahans, your McVays, your Belichick was this for many years, and then before he fell off. But like, there's only a couple of coaches that do at least what they did this year, and it'll just be interesting to see if it translates moving forward.
Yeah, he kind of was able to do, you mentioned the play calling stuff too and wizardry there. He was kind of able to do what, Landon, we've been talking about with Vrabel. I mean, granted, some of the offenses they have faced have been noticeably handicapped, but like he was able to find that one thing. He's like, oh, I've got him right here, and he was able to identify the problem and absolutely hammer it against the Patriots.
The thing I look for when you're talking about a defensive mastermind, how you know a guy is a defensive mastermind is when they play young quarterbacks, they've got no chance. I mean, they've got no chance. Like, that's what Belichick did. Belichick absolutely ate up young quarterbacks and spit them out. If you remember, Flores did not have a great tenure in Miami, but when they played rookie and second-year quarterbacks, I don't think he ever lost. I think he went undefeated against rookie and second-year quarterbacks because they have no idea what they're looking at. They're always looking at the wrong place. And I saw on Twitter, like, people are breaking down the film at this point, and they're like, dude, there's guys running wide open for the Patriots, and Drake never sees them. It's like, yeah, that's not on Drake. He thought there was going to be DBs there. All of a sudden, they all go somewhere else, and he throws it into triple coverage. Like, so he completely fooled Maye. He's been great against young quarterbacks all year, and that's how you know he's a genius. And, I mean, this roster's young. Like, do I think they're going to win the Super Bowl next year? I would not pick it. But the roster's young. I think everybody's going to come back. Basically, we'll see what they do with Walker. But I mean,
they have a lot of money. They have the third most cap in the NFL. Now, I think a lot of that's kind of that you see that they've got the third most cap, and you realize like, oh well, they've got to pay JSN, Walker, all those guys. So it'll get eaten up pretty quick by the guys they already have in the building. But that's also part of the scary part is like, oh, they're just going to be able to keep all the guys they've got in the building.
Yeah, I mean, that's the dream. That is the dream. That is like you have a guy like JSN, and you have cap space when his contract comes due. Like that's what the really good organizations do. And so, man, this team's sharp, and they're going to be a problem for a few years here. Problem. I know that division's tough, but they're a problem.
Division, man. Stafford's coming back next
They
year.
walked through it.
He's already said that. So, I mean, no guarantee next year, but, man, they are set up to be a dominant force. Josh, would you like to
Darnold never made the mistake.
Your team back? Would you like to come back, Josh? Giving you the opportunity. We won't call you a bandwagon fan.
That's the problem.
We won't call you.
I've now made my bed and I've got to lie in it.
You don't. You can come back with the caveat of you don't get to enjoy this Super Bowl. You're a fan from here forward. You get no pleasure in this one.
The problem is now I've got to figure out a team that I care about or a team that has like 4 or 5 players that I care about, and just
Atlanta has.
We're going to ride with
this
core.
Good luck.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm at the point now where it's just like I just like watching the NFL. I don't care. I'm in it for the granddaddy of them all. That's where we're at.
That's probably where we all should
fantasy
be,
football keeps us. Oh, Landon. Well, here at the very end, we'll also mention Kenneth Walker for fantasy reasons, because I, like you, am a Kenneth Walker owner in Dynasty, and it was incredibly frustrating all season, only for them to unleash this demon at the end of the season when it does not help me.
Yeah. Him to average 170 yards a game in the playoffs against the toughest defenses, Don't think I didn't catch that. I saw it.
Meanwhile, Zach Charbonnet gets every red zone touch during the regular season.
Who knows, though? If they bring him back, maybe the Charbonnet injury forces their hand to bring him back, and who knows?
You mentioned I said in the group chat that his contract's getting more and more expensive every time he touches the ball tonight, and you were like, no, they're just going to franchise tag him.
Yeah, he's forcing their hand. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. All in all, I mean, I feel like I've heard some general not football guys, but like general population who are like, they only tune in for the Super Bowl. They were like, "Oh, that was such a boring game." I loved it.
We don't care about that.
I don't like defensive games when it's like a Thursday night and 2 teams are just playing horrible football, and that's why it's low scoring.
Yeah.
I do enjoy when you have 2 defenses that are just on the absolute top of their game, and that's the reason the game is low scoring. I do enjoy that, and that's what we got to witness last night.
Yep.
Anything else we want to touch on before we hop out of here? I will say we recorded an episode discussing coaches, and something went wrong, so we may have to go back and redo that.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, Josh, we're happy to finally have you back, at least for a fleeting moment on the show before you dive back into the history books. Anything new happening?
Go back to my producer role.
How's the history podcast going? Anything new?
It's doing good. I'm working on a book
proposal.
proposal.
Give this guy airtime to pitch this. We're gonna give him airtime to pitch. Is he paying for this?
No, I was trying to make it
quite
joke.
literally.
Nobody caught it.
You are paying for this. You are paying for this. Yeah.
This is a paid sponsorship by Compendium by Josh Johnson. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, history pod's
I
doing
think
good.
that's all we got. Yeah. I'll be tuning in. Maybe I'll listen more, Josh, since we didn't want to touch on it last week, but football's over. I've got nothing for about 7 months planned, except for I'll watch the NFL draft.
I've got no plans. 0 plans.
My schedule is wide open.
Yeah.
All right. That's all we got for you guys. Season's over. Now we look forward to 2026, and we'll have off-season content coming. We'll kind of get us a game plan together of how we want to do it. Maybe we'll talk rookies. We'll talk coaches. We'll obviously have coverage of combine, draft, you name it. If you don't want us to talk about football, let us know. We're not going to listen, but you can tell us. That's the whole point of having a podcast, is I can say what I want. But yeah.
By definition.
Yeah. We will catch you guys in the next episode.